Y'all just follow me on this. Well, it's getting late in the evening, and the sun is going down. Well, it's getting late in the evening, and the sun is going down. Well, if I couldn't say nothing, I'll just wave my hand. Well, if I couldn't say nothing, I'll just wave my hand. Well, if I didn't have a religion that I could feel sometimes. Well, if I didn't have a religion that I could feel sometimes. Anybody know this? Well, if we need you, for your mercy, Lord God. Lord God, we know that we haven't been so good, Lord God, but because of your grace and because of your mercy, Lord God, because you favored us over 2,000 years ago, we are able to sit in this place just one more time. Lord God, we be so gracious to give you all the glory, all the praise, Lord God. It is in your Son Jesus' name we pray, and we ask it all. Amen. Amen. Amen, Lord. We're glad to be here just one more time. Amen. Thank God for what He allowed the service to be so far. And we pray, we know going on out. We ask that God give you glory on today. Thank you for the opportunity to preach again on today. Just thankful for the members, visitors, friends, pastor on today. We're just thankful to be here one more time. We will be here as long as the Spirit say we're here. It's been a busy week. I had to preach on this past Sunday at Mount Bethel and then revival, and also just trying to get other work done. And I've been sick this week, so if you see me grabbing at my ears, not anything. It's that I have a sinus pressure in my ear, so all of that, God is still good, and He's good all the time. Yes, He is. We have a word on today, so we'll be here until He says that's enough. Amen. If you have your Bibles on today, we'll be coming from two different scriptures, but it's going to be within the same. It'll be within the same context. So we're going to look at Job, the book of Job, second chapter, and then we'll look at Job 42. So Job, second chapter, 7 through 10, and then Job 42nd chapter, verse number 10. Job, the second chapter, verses 7 through 10, and Job 42nd chapter, verse number 10. Gabby, please stand. Job, the second chapter, verse number 7 through 10. It said, Job said, the second chapter, 7 through 10. Says, so Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and struck Job with painful boils on soles of his foot to the crown of his head. He took for himself a potsherd with which to scrape himself while he sat in the midst of the ashes. Then his wife said to him, do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die. But he said to her, you speak as one of the foolish women speak. Shall we indeed accept good from God? And shall we not accept adversity? And all of this Job did not sin with his lips. And Job, 42nd chapter, verse 10, says, and the Lord restored Job's loss when he had prayed for his friends. Mm-hmm. Indeed, the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. Mm-hmm. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, there's a blessing, after the pain.
After the pain.
That's a blessing after the pain.
Amen.
You see it? That's a blessing after the pain.
Yeah.
I don't know who here on today know of a artist by the name of Betty Wright. And, Betty Wright wrote a song called After the Pain.
Yeah.
And if you look before that, she wrote some more songs, one entitled Pain, but then there was another entitled No Pain, No Gain. So she wrote this third song, completing what she had wrote before, and she was saying, I know you want to hear the end of the story about what happened after the pain. And in this song, it was very good because she talks about, the heartbreak and the pain that she went through. But if you look down a couple of verses in there, she talked a lot about how God helped her through the pain. And you got to understand, even in our life, we go through some pain, we go through some heartaches and some situations. And we expect as Christians, sometimes we want to wonder why God is putting us through this. But God is saying, if you just trust in me, and you just trust in what I am doing, he said, listen, I'll be there through the pain. Yeah. And I don't understand why, because God never promised us that every day was going to be Sunday. He never promised us that every day was going to be easy along the way. But God did promise that I never leave you nor forsake you. Right. So she still, what Betty Wright was saying, I still trust in God. Because I know that after the pain, she said, I can explain this. How can I still love you like I do after the pain? Some people are still wondering why, after all I've been through, after all the hell you put me through, after all the sickness and the disappointments and the heartache, how can I still love God like I do? But God, I understand that I serve the omnipotent God. I serve the omnipresent God. And that He always don't operate on my timing. But I know that when I go through things, He put me through it for a reason. So Job understood this. I'm going through this for a reason. I'm going through it because I know if God puts me through it, He's put me through it for a reason. It may not be for my glory, but it may be for His glory. So we understand here in this chapter, we look here in Job, in the book of Job. Job here was a righteous and an upright man. That's right. It says that he was a man of integrity. Job was a rich man. That's right. And Job had a lot here in this chapter. And whenever he started, it says that the people of God were having a meeting. And when they were having their meeting, it says somehow the devil, he ended up at the meeting. And we understand that every time in our life, sometimes when we're up, up and sometimes when we're down.
Yeah.
Sometimes the devil has a way of showing his face. And it may not be in situations we want to see him, but he'll show up at any given time.
Yeah.
And we always got to be ready. But it says that the devil showed up at the meeting. Yeah. And it says that the Lord said, listen, why you here? He said, I've been walking to and fro.
That's right.
Across the earth, seeing who can I divide. So he's looking for somebody to test. And he said, the God spoke back to him and said, have you considered my servant Job?
Yeah.
Because the Lord understood this, but he understood because Job was a man of integrity. He knew that he could count on Job not to curse him to his face. And he said, listen, he said, have you not built a hedge of protection around Job?
Yeah.
And he said, listen, he said, I'll let you do everything else to him, but he said, don't touch his soul.
That's right.
So he said, I understand this. I trust Job enough in that I know that when he sets it, he's not going to curse me.
Amen.
So I wonder if the Lord took a tally, how many times have we been tested and we failed the test?
Yeah.
I wonder if he had the same assurance in us, and that if he allows the devil to test us, that we won't turn around and curse him to his face. I tell you, there's a lot of people in life who've been tested and they've gone through adversity and they failed the test.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who pass the test with flying colors. But God is, I can imagine at the end, he's going to say, listen, I allow for you to be tested and you turn around. After all I had done, you cursed me to my face. Yeah. And we do sometimes with the same way. We understand that sometimes people can depend on us. Sometimes we can do all we can for people, but then they'll turn around and do things against us. But God is saying, listen here, if you love me this much, you ought to trust me that I'm going to bring you out. Because love, sometimes, the thing about love is love. You always, if you have trust in that person, you ought to be able to know that they ain't going to put you through something for no reason at all. But you can trust them and you love them enough. You ought to trust them and they'll be able to bring you out. So God is saying, you can depend on me when you can't depend on nobody else.
That's right.
He's not like man. So Job understood this. God is not like man, so I can trust in him.
That's right.
Even when I can't trust him, nobody else. So it says, sometimes in this story here, it says, this first point I want to make is you will be tested. You know, some of us think that just because we say we're not supposed to be tested, but that's the most time you're supposed to be tested. Because if the devil ain't testing you, then probably means he already got you. So it says here that the devil received permission from God. So I understand even the devil has to receive permission before he can proceed with his program. So God gave him permission to test Job.
Yes, he did.
So you understand here that sometimes in your life you're going to be tested. You're going to run into some situations. Even when you run into some health situations, when you're being tested by your kids, tested financially, just know that it's from the Lord. And God allows for us to be tested.
Yes,
he allows for us to be tested.
Yeah.
So then the second point I want to make is you got to be thankful for your test.
All right.
You got to understand all the stuff that happened here in this story, this first chapter. It says that, first of all, that his oxen and his donkeys were taken, his servants were killed by the Sabians. And then it said next, another servant came up to Job and said, listen, your fire rained down and it burned up your sheep and killed your servants, but I escaped just to tell you this message. And then it said the next thing, another servant came to Job and said, the Chaldeans took your camel and killed your servant, but I escaped to tell you this message. And it says this last thing there, it says that your oldest children, your children were meeting at your oldest child's house, but it says the fourth wind blew, and it says that the four corners it blew down and killed all of your children. Can you imagine losing all your children at once? Can you imagine Job having, he had 10 children basically, he had 10 of them. And can you imagine all of his children, all the people that he depended on, all of them being killed at once? Can you imagine? I don't know if anybody ever lost anything, but it's nothing like losing a loved one, especially like a close loved one. But if you lose 10 of them all at once, I can only imagine the pain that Job was going through. But then he said that he still would not curse God to his face. So he said Job never let anything curse come from his lips. He still trusted in God. So then it says in chapter 2, here again we see that again, that they gather again and the people of God were meeting again to present themselves And somehow again the devil ended up at the meeting the second day.
Yeah.
I couldn't get him to curse you to your face yesterday, so I'm going to come back and I'm going to try again.
Yeah.
So sometimes in our life, when you pass your test, it don't mean that your test is over.
Yeah.
Sometimes the devil will come again and see if he can trip you up one more time. So he came to the meeting the second time.
Yeah.
And it says the Lord gave permission again to test Job.
Yeah.
And it says that when he did this, the devil said skin for skin.
Yeah.
And the Lord said, I allow for you testing, but again he told him, don't touch his soul.
Yeah.
So he did, and when he did this, he said he afflicted Job with boils.
Yeah.
From the top of his head to the bottom of his feet.
Right.
Can you imagine just being covered with sores and you being so miserable that all you had to do, he had to break this thing, he had to scrape his cell so that he can get some comfort. And he understood. I can imagine. He's wondering why am I being tested the way I'm being tested?
Yeah.
But his wife told him, listen, Job. He said, do you still have integrity? Just curse God to his face and just die.
Yeah.
But he said, woman, you talk like a foolish woman.
Yeah.
He said, you speak how a foolish woman would speak. He said, should we not accept good from God?
Yeah.
And shall we not accept adversity? Because some people, when he was telling her, do we expect to have good all the time? You can't expect to have money in your pocket all the time. You can't expect for your bills to be done or paid all the time. You can't expect for your children to act well all the time. Some people expect that we're supposed to have roses every day. But God says sometimes in your life, you're going to encounter some adversity. And if you don't encounter some adversity, something wrong. Because that probably means, like I said, the devil already got you. So you can't expect to have all good days and not to expect have some bad days mixed in there every now and again. So in your painful situation, these are the times where God should be able to trust you.
Yes, sir.
It's easy for you to depend on God in your good times.
Yeah.
But what about when the doctor comes in to tell you got cancer? What about when the doctor comes in and shake his head and say, we don't know what else to do for you? What about when the bill collector calls you up and say, you got this many days to pay your bill?
Yeah.
That should be the time when you decide that you should trust in God. That should be the time when you lean a little closer to God. Those times when your friends are gone. Those times when your wife ain't quite on your side. That time when your husband ain't quite on your side. That's the time when you should get a little closer to God.
Yeah.
So God got a way
Yes, it is.
of getting us closer to Him.
Yeah.
Because Job understood this, and he said, if you look back in chapter 1, verse 21, he said, naked I came into this world.
Yeah.
From my mother's womb, and naked shall return.
Yes, sir.
He said, the Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
Yeah.
He said, blessed be the name of the Lord. I wonder if I got anybody here on today that know in the midst of your pain that no matter what you go through, that if I lose everything, he said, I still got everything because I got the Lord. I want to say anybody here that knows that even when your health fails every now and then, that if I lose that, I'm still good because I still got the Lord. I can imagine Job saying, I ain't worried about none of that because I'm still rich because I got the Lord. I wonder if I'm still rich because I know after this, even if I lose everything down here, I got glory after this. So after the pain, I wonder if I can finish my story. Because after this, after the pain, I still love him like I do because I still got him and I still got glory. So I can trust him. I can be thankful for my test. So now I understand why James said what he said when he said, count it all joy. When you fall into diverse temptation. Knowing that this is the trying of your faith. He said, work in patience. He said, but let patience have a complete work. So that you may be entire and complete, wanting nothing. There's a lot of people still wanting stuff because they ain't complete yet. Because they ain't been battle tested. So when you've been battle tested and you've been through it before, you know what God can do. So God is having this complete work in you. So I can have faith and I'm letting it work inside of me. So I'm glad I'm a servant of God. Because in the moments where I should give up, in the moments where I could give up, God is still there. And God is working in me. So the third point I want to make, you just got to trust in God.
That's right.
So at this hell was attacked. And his wife wanted him to curse God to his face. Job still knew to trust God. See, too many people are trying to trust God at their own convenience.
All
Yeah.
right.
I call them convenience Christians. I want to preach a sermon before called a McDonald's Christian with a Burger King attitude. Because there are too many people that's having their way and they're loving it.
Yeah.
But you can't have it your way all the time.
Yeah.
You can't have it your way because sometimes God wants to have His way.
Yeah.
But when you let God have His way is the perfect way.
Oh, yeah.
Some people want to have their way and don't want to have trials in their life, but God is saying, don't worry about none of that because in your trials, I got a way of making you who I want you to be.
That's right.
I preached about this past Sunday because we don't trust in God's plan all the time. I preached about Jephthah because you understand, Jephthah knew, he understood that it was his way because these people in Israel started worshiping idol gods.
Yeah.
And if he had been there, he probably would have done the same thing. But you got to understand, God has a way of moving us sometimes
Yes, sir.
into the way that He wants us to be.
right.
He has a way of shaping us sometimes that will push us into our destiny. So you got to watch out because sometimes we'll miss what God is wanting us to do because we're trying to do our own thing.
Yeah.
But if you ain't doing your own thing and you just trust in God, God was trying to build Job back up into who He wanted him to be.
Yes,
But He understood even after this, God had something prepared for Job if He did curse him. And we'll see that towards the end of this story. But too many people are trying to trust in God at their own convenience. It's easy to tell everybody else you need to trust them.
Yeah.
You need to depend on them.
Yeah.
But when you're in that situation, when you trust in God. So you understand this, and that's why I'm glad Isaiah said that those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount on wings as eagles.
Yeah.
They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint for those that wait upon the Lord. So there's a lot of people who ain't waiting on them.
That's right.
They're trying to run up on their own. But that's a good thing about the eagle because the eagle flies above the storm. And the eagle has a way of seeing down and see what God wants it to be.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder, is there anybody in here that know even in my pain I can still fly above the storm because I mounted up, because I waited on the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
I know He won't allow for me to faint. So there's some people who still acting as if they're young Christians. But this fourth point is God will use you.
Yes, He will.
So after all this, after he had lost all his cattle, after he had lost all his sheep, after he lost his children, after he had lost some of his servants, like I said, losing 10 children, that's got to be something. But Job knew he still trusted in God, and God was still using him. So then he had friends in his life. He had some friends that came, and they said Job must have done something. They said he must have sinned because God won't punish the righteous person.
Oh, yeah.
But God was saying the whole time they speak as foolish people because they should have had enough trust in Job to know he didn't do nothing. There's a lot of people that think just because people lose their houses sometimes, because people lose their car, that they done something, or somebody connected them done something. Sometimes God just doesn't test you. So it ain't necessary all the time that you've done something. Sometimes God wants you to see how it's like not to have some money in your pocket. He wants you to see how it's like to operate and not know sometimes where you're going to get money from. He wants you to see it sometimes how it is to depend on Him. But then God can still provide for you even when you don't know how it's going to be provided. So I don't understand. Some people, like I said, they want to do it at their own convenience. But when God has to get you in some situations sometimes, when you know it wasn't you who brought you out, but it was God who brought you out. So he understood this, and God was bringing Job back to who He wanted him to be. He was still working with him. He was still standing by his side, even in his situation. So when his friends said it must have been he sinned, but God said, don't worry about that. Listen, he's a righteous man. He ain't done nothing. It's allowing for him to be tested. And then sometimes the way that you run your race will influence somebody else who you don't even know. So God was using Job to show his friends, this is how you operate in the midst of your trials. This is how you operate when God is testing you. disciples need to be tested sometimes. This is how you should operate. Because there's some people who are running their race and they think they're just running on their own and that people ain't looking at you. But trust me, somebody's looking at the way you operate in your situation.
Right.
And when you turn around and say, God, I know God can bring me out, but then you gave up in the middle of your text, they're going to say, I have to trust you. And you gave up in the middle of your situation, in the midst of your trial. So God was using Job, and Job ran the race. He ran it with patience. He ran with integrity. He stuck fast to what God had gave him the title of being an upright man. He stuck to it. Even when his wife wanted him to curse God to his face, he still was persevering. He didn't give up. He didn't curse God, and he still trusted. So he understood God was using him to influence his wife. He was using him to influence his friends. So he stayed there.
Oh, yeah.
And he did good. He did well. But God wanted Job to do something. Because his friends had said, how is it that he must have sinned? But he said, God got him to themselves.
Yeah.
And he said, listen, y'all need to go. This is verse in chapter 41 and on into chapter 42. He told them, he said, listen, in order for you to be restored, you're going to have Job to go and pray for you.
All right.
So in order for them to get back and to be forgiven, Job was going to have to pray for him.
Yeah.
He said, go find Job. He said, go have him to pray for you.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it was not that Job did anything, but I was allowing for Job to be tested.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Christians who act ignorant sometimes. And they think that sometimes that God is just doing stuff and that people lost stuff because they done something wrong. But God said, listen, the same person you said lost this because they done something is going to be the same person who made out to bless you.
All right.
So they had to go find Job.
All right.
And his fifth and third point will make his God will bless you.
Yes, he will.
So when they found Job, it said that Job prayed over them.
Uh-huh.
And he said when they prayed over him at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and God had already dealt with Job
Yeah.
because Job lacked, he admitted that he was lacking in understanding. He admitted and he repented for his rebellion
All right.
because he still, like I say, he thought within himself, but he never cursed God,
That's right.
but he thought about it. He thought about it. And there's a lot of people that think about cursing God sometimes.
Yeah.
But you ought to know better when you do that. Even when you think about cursing God, you still don't do it.
All right.
And because a lot of us are going to say, I know I didn't do that. But God is saying, listen, I already know your thoughts. I know you thought about it.
That's
But
right.
I'm glad you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So it was good that Job never did. He didn't curse God, but he still trusted him. But he still thought about it. So that's a lesson to everybody, that even the most righteous man still thought about cursing God.
Yeah.
But it said he understood. And he understood God had already talked to him. The Lord talked to him. After Job had committed all this, had admitted all this. Lord, why? Why did you allow for me to go through all of this? And he said, listen, Job. Listen. He said, his friends came to him. And he said that he prayed over them.
Yeah.
And it says in verse 10 that when he prayed over them, it says that immediately then that Job was given twice what he had lost before.
Yeah.
All right.
And then you'll see that his latter days were greater than his beginning.
Yeah.
I wonder if there anybody here that even after the pain,
Yeah.
you know that God has a blessing set up for you.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if there's anybody here that know, even though I've been tested, I've been talked about and disappointed,
Oh, yeah.
that even if I bless those people, God has a blessing for me.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anybody here that know God has a blessing with your name on it.
All right.
Just because you ran your race with patience.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if there's anybody here that know even through my trials,
Yeah.
even though I may try God sometimes, even I may think of sometimes what God is about me to go through.
Yeah.
I want to run this race with patience because there's a blessing after the pain.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's anybody here that even know after all the hell I've been through,
Yeah.
after all the high waters, I still trust in God
Yeah.
because I know He will bring me through.
Oh, yeah.
He's no less than in His word that He'll bless me
Yeah.
in my situation.
Yes, he will.
I know there's a time for me to be blessed.
Oh, yeah.
And it may not be my season that God is operating in.
Yeah.
But God said that Job, when he prayed for his friends,
Yeah.
he was blessed double for the struggle.
Yes, sir.
He was giving everything back that he had already lost. He was giving his camels back. He was giving his sheep back. He was giving his oxen back. He was giving back his children. And God blessed him double for his trouble. I believe that Job, after this, it said that he lived 140 years. But God blessed him double for his trouble. So I'm glad that my latter will be greater than my beginning. But God has a way of bringing us back. Even when he allows for us to be tested. But as long as you run the race with patience, as long as you trust in God, God will lift you up. So I'm glad for the pain in my life. I'm glad for the trials in my life. I'm glad that God is healed. So I'm glad for that person that laid up in a hospital. I'm glad for that person who had surgery. Because God is going to help for them to be stronger than it was before. I remember a time when my granddaddy had surgery. He had lung surgery. And he had lung cancer. And the doctor seen that the outcome was bleak. And he had some eternal bleeding. They didn't know what to do. Now guess what? They said the next day that he became he came out of the hospital. Half full of love. He didn't even have to use oxygen. Sometimes in my life, if I could live, I need not to preach. Because one day the Lord worked on me. One day the Lord did not the devil over the cross. And he never said a lie. So that's why I can trust him. When times get rough, that's why I can trust him. When my body is wrapping in pain, that's why I can trust him. When I'm talked about in abuse, that's why I can trust him. In the midst of the pain, when everybody's resting, that's why I can trust him. When I don't know what else to do, that's why I can trust him. After this pain, because I know after this, because he's done it before. He can do it again. So I'm glad for the blessing of God. That even if I'm not to go that way, God has a way of bringing me back. I'm glad I'm getting the soul. For all the will I've been through. I'm glad I'm getting the soul. For all the pain of my life. Because the 70 when I'm surprised to go where it's from. She was strong and led me to the throne. He said, Father, be a little. But he come after me. And they see when he beat him all night long. Every strike that he took from me. Every strike he took from me. It was a test of a diabetes. Not at all. I'm so glad that every strike that he took from every pain. I'm so glad that everything he took from it was for my dignity. That's priceless. I'm so glad that he said when he took me down to the cross. And they gave him the time. And it said, blood and water came screaming down. That means he cleaned me and purified me. So I'm so glad for it. And not only that, they put him all down the tomb. He laid there in birthday. He laid there in birthday. All of Jerusalem. His back to all of everybody. Taking everybody back to who he was. And it says that I is there before. He got up to all power. He is there. Set the captives free. Where's the most they forgot? That's why I keep it. name is already written. My name is already written on it. There's a car with your name on it.
Yeah.
There's a house with your name on it.
Yeah.
There's a spouse with your name on it. So even though I lose some things in my life, God already written my name down on some more places. It's going to be greater than what I lost. So he touched me up. I'm glad for it. The money that I lost, if I lost $2, God gonna bless me with $4. I'm glad for it because God has already written my name on it. Ain't no secret what he can do for you. Because Job trusted in him.
Yes, sir.
God blessed him double for his struggle. Not only that, he blessed him because he prayed over those friends.
Yes, sir.
The ones that doubted him.
Yes.
The ones that said he sinned.
Yes, sir.
The ones that didn't believe in him. God used Job to bless them.
That's right.
So not only will he bless you,
Yeah.
but he'll use you to bless somebody else with your trials.
Yeah.
So it's a teaching lesson for them also that you don't have to do nothing to go through nothing. You don't have to do nothing to go through trials, but he used Job
That's it.
to restore them.
Yeah.
And when he prayed over them, immediately he was restored.
Yeah.
So whatever the devil throw at you, don't worry about it. God was right there with Job the whole time. He saw everything. He just didn't step in. A lot of people want God to step in. But sometimes God, he'll throw you a little rock out there sometimes. He'll throw you a lifesaver. And he wants you to figure out how you going to get out. He don't want the answer to be in him all the time. But sometimes you got to stay there. You got to trust in God. And Job stayed there. He understood. Stayed in that trial. Stayed in his trial. Afflicted with boils. Everything else. Lost everything.
Yeah.
But he still trusted.
Yes.
So on today, I want you to look at your neighbor and say, neighbor,
Neighbor.
there's a blessing
There's a blessing
after the pain.
after the rain.
So we finished our story.
Amen.
What happened after the pain? I still love him
Amen.
after the pain.
Amen.
I ask you to stand on today.
Amen.
And maybe somebody here on today that saw yourself in this sermon. Maybe somebody that's been going through heartaches and disappointment. Trying to figure out why you got to go through this and that. But God is saying, after this pain, I got a blessing with your name on it.
Oh, yeah.
The doors of the church are open. Been open for over 2,000 years. God gave us a way back to Him on Calvary's over at the cross. So if you lost today, you're lost in sin, God is standing here with His arms wide open. You can come by letter, candidate for baptism, by Christian experience. We ask that you come on today. If you desire prayer, come down to the altar. We'll pray over you. We'll pray that God can give you some assurance that He's there. He's always there. He never left you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. So trust in Him. You may be seated.
Amen.